What's good? What's good? I'm back. One and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as usual. And we got a special guest coming on here in about a minute or so. We're gonna give him a little bit of time. While we're waiting, I'm gonna talk about BKFC Mohegan, which was the last event. That was literally last Saturday, and really good event, man. Really good fight card. Like some of the names weren't super big names, but a really good fight card. At least 4 or 5 comeback wins that I saw. Um, the females fight Alexandra Ballou and Taylor Dagner beat each other bloody, and that ended up in a decision. Um, Joe White got an upset win over Guilherme Viana, but there was a lot of comebacks. There was a lot of comebacks, really good fights. Dudes were losing, and then all of a sudden just turning around and won. And in the main event, of course, Parker Porter. That was a really good fight. I felt like Hayes Wilson was winning at first, but then Parker fucked up his eye and doctor stoppage. Pat Casey, Zeb Vincent. I mean, that was a really good fight as well. Casey knocked him down a lot, but Zeb kept getting up. The Rico Desculio versus Elijah Harris was a really good fight as well. A lot of knockdowns in that. Harry Gigliotti made his debut, got knocked down by Timmy Mason. I almost thought Timmy Mason was going to win that, but Harry came back and won that as well. And some really good fights. Gary Boleto the third got knocked down first and then came back and won that as well. Those are some of the better fights in my opinion, where guys get or girls get knocked down and they actually come back and win the fight. All right, so here goes our special guest. We got to introduce him properly. He fights out of my home state of North Carolina, but BKFC is going to be sending him to Honolulu to kick some Hawaii ass. And he'll be fighting BKFC Fight Night Honolulu against Maki Patolo. That's April 11th, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boy, that's gonna be a late fight card on the East. Let's bring on the one and only Doug Coltrane.
Ooh, what's
Doug,
up, man?
how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Can you see me? Everything good?
Yeah, you got a nice little setup look like back there.
Ooh, yeah, man. You know, I've been around for a little bit. You know, not too long, a little bit.
Yeah, you're a fellow North Carolinian. I'm from Fayetteville,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah. I'm in Fayetteville right now. You know, we call it Fayetteville.
yeah. Nah, yeah, that's what's up, man. You can.
So let's go ahead. What you about to say?
Nah, I was saying you can hear me. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's
All right.
good. Yeah, actually, let's big screen it out somehow. Let's big screen it out. That's even better.
Hey, so
All
you
right,
from
so
Fayetteville, bro?
yeah, born and raised, man. Born and raised.
Hey, that ain't too far from me, man. Right up the road.
Yeah. So your last fight, man, it was August 16th, 2024, man. Are you anxious to get back in that squared circle right now?
Yeah, I've been anxious to get back in there, man. Last year I had some personal problems, man, and I feel like
Okay.
it kept me out of there. But man, I've been trying to get back in there probably since like I've been trying to get back in there probably since like November of last year. I've been begging to get on any card, fight whoever, and yeah, finally they offered me something in Denver, and I accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept waiting on the contract, and then finally I got a phone call, and they asked me about the Hawaii card. I was like, man, get out of here! What Hawaii? Count me do it. Let's do it. And then coming to find out, like I didn't even know. Like I said, like literally, I didn't really care who it was. I didn't care about a name at all. And come to find out, when they shot me the name, I never heard of the guy before. I
Uh-huh.
really I haven't really been following the UFC like that. Probably, it's been a couple years since I've really been following it like that. I don't really know a bunch of the new guys. So when they first shot me his name on the contract, I didn't even really know who he was until I looked him up. I was like, oh, okay, I got a UFC head. Hey, even better. Let's go.
Yeah. And game bread.
He had the one bare knuckle with the game bread, and I don't think that one went his way either. Yeah, I watched it on YouTube. It was I seen that. He got a little bit of bare knuckle experience, but it's still MMA. It's a totally different world. BKFC, a totally different world.
So, I mean, what have you been up to, man, lately? While you've been trying to get back in the ring?
Oh man, just training hard, man. Trying to stay in shape, man. Trying to stay consistent. I've been waiting on the phone call. I knew eventually I was gonna get one, so I just didn't want to get caught off guard and not be in shape. And it worked out, man. So I can't wait. Next week, right around the corner.
So, I mean, this guy's fought bare knuckle, but it's bare knuckle MMA, which is definitely different. Are you able to gauge what kind of fighter you think he's gonna be?
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Because I watched this bare knuckle fight, bare knuckle MMA fight. I watched some of his MMA fights. I definitely can gauge what type of fighter he is and what type of fighter he's gonna be. I mean, obviously, in real timing, it's all a little different in real timing. But yeah, I honestly think, I don't want to, throw it. I don't want to be, what I'm saying. I feel like his tool bag ain't too strong, especially when it comes to the boxing. So yeah, I think he's more of a grappler, yeah, man, he's entering in my world. I'm the vet over here, so I'm representing BKFC, and I can't wait, man, to touch this dude up, man.
Well, which leads into one of my next questions. I mean, even though he does look like he's got a lot of fighting experience, this is bare knuckle. It's not bare knuckle MMA. So you do feel like you have the experience advantage, I would guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the square circle, yeah, I think that he's got more of the, I mean, I think people give him the advantage just because he fought in the experience advantage because he fought in the UFC, but
Yeah.
and he's had quite a bit of MMA fights. But I mean, I did MMA since like 2007, 2008. I had like 11 amateur fights. And I had I think six pro fights MMA. I've had some kickboxing, some pro kickboxing fights too. So I mean, I've been around for a while too. I mean, I think that, like I said, because he's got the UFC, he got the UFC stamp, you know what I'm saying? I think people give him the advantage in that, but I've been fighting a long time too, man. And, honestly, I do think I got the advantage in the square circle because he's never been in there before. So, it's a little different. Like you said, even though he had the one bare knuckle MMA fight, being in the square circle, you know what I'm saying, where you there is no punches, there is no kicks, there is no takedowns, there is no elbows, there is no none of that. It's just straight hands. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, because if he just tries to, like, out the gate, try to come in all wild and stuff and just throwing blows, that might not benefit, might not be a good move. He might want to, sit back and wait a second and just see how things are going to go.
I think either way it goes, it's gonna be bad for him because he's got to deal with a 79-inch reach. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to be honest, every time you step in, every time you step in, I got something for him. So if he sit back, I'm gonna tag him. If he come in blitzing, I'm gonna tag him. Anywhere it goes, he getting tagged. So we gonna play tag all night.
So, I mean, you coming off of 2 straight losses. Are you extra motivated for this? And do you feel like it's a must win to get back in that win column?
Honestly, with this, man, I'm getting older when it comes to combat sports, and
Mhm.
I'm not letting that bother me. I know in the last fight, people can argue the stoppage was it was some bullshit, but I mean
Okay.
honestly, I don't think it was. Personally myself, I don't think it was. I really couldn't see. I couldn't see after the first round. I just think that I think that it was just shitty, just a shitty night for me. And but I was winning the fight. I think that
Yeah.
obviously we'd have went one more round. Obviously I dropped the dude, and everything. So I honestly feel like I was winning the fight. It just so happened that I got stuck in the eye in the first round and it swole up. And Buddy fought good. He fought a good fight. He every time he clinched with me, he was rubbing that eye. He was doing everything he could to mess with that eye. So I got to give him his props. But yeah, honestly, I think that that was a one in a million night for him. I think if we ran it back, I think it'd be ugly for him. And just there was a lot of things going into that fight. Like I kind of overlooked. And yeah, I made sure this time in this camp we didn't overlook anything. We everything that was unturned in the last fight, we made sure we touched it this time before we going into with this guy.
So how you expecting this one to go, man?
Honestly, if it goes the way I see it going, they're gonna stop it in the third or fourth round from dot to stoppage.
That's what's up. And definitely, man. I mean, is this the first time BKFC's went to Hawaii?
This is the first time BKFC is going to Hawaii. I'm getting the main event against the UFC head. He's coming into our house, and I get to represent BKFC, and I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited. Like I told you before, man. Hey, I'm gonna enjoy every second of this, man, because I know, like I said, you know, who at this point in my career, it's like, who knows? So I'm gonna enjoy every second of this, man. Every second of this, this being in Hawaii, I've never been, and I'm gonna enjoy every bit of it.
Is this like one of those moments that fighters kind of like hold on to when you're actually the main event and breaking a new sport in a new area?
Man, it's a dream for me, man. And to be honest, man, kids from Smithfield, North Carolina, bro, they don't get to see people do this, and people from where I'm from, they don't get to do these type of things. And I feel so blessed, and I feel blessed to represent where we from, and man, I ain't even putting no pressure on myself. I honestly think, man, I'm just gonna go out here and enjoy every second of this, be the best. My main concern was me being the best version of myself I could be. I feel like if I'm the best version of myself I could be, I could beat anybody in this sport, anybody in my weight class. I honestly feel that in my heart.
So you from Smithfield? Are you born and raised there?
Actually, I was born in Greensboro, but my mama moved down this way. She moved to
Okay.
Princeton. Yeah, she moved to Princeton when I was like 7 or 8. So I've been here my whole life. I'm from Greens. My father's side of the family is from Greensboro. That's where I was born at. But my mom's she moved down here when I was young, man. I've been here ever since. So that's why I represent Johnson County, man.
So what's it like growing up there?
Oh man. You don't want to you want to talk about that for real? it's had
Hey,
its
you know North Carolina got some crazy places.
man, it's had its moments, man. It's had its moments, I grew up in the street, man. I had my mom's was working all the time, and my pops passed away when I was young. So literally, man, I'm blessed to even be sitting here talking to you about flying out to Hawaii and fighting, man, because I had a rough childhood, man, and what I'm saying, I was in the street a lot, and it was rough for me. And like I said, a lot of the guys I grew up with, I'm a big inspiration to them, because like I said, they don't see people from where we from to get to do these type of things, man. And just for me to be able to make it out of the things I was going through when I was younger, and going to jail, and just having a past, man, that I ain't super proud of, but it's who made me. It made me who I am. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Johnson County, man, it's Johnson County. I'm pretty sure you from Fayetteville. I'm pretty sure you heard your stories about Johnson County, and how it could be, and how it used to be way back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's had its ups and downs, but when I started doing this MMA thing, and I switched to bare knuckle and all that, like, man, they've embraced me. You know what I'm saying? And they've I'm like, I'm somebody here. You know what I mean? And like, I can't go anywhere without somebody knowing me. Like, if I go anywhere in Johnson, yeah, it's crazy. Like, they gonna know, like, oh, that's the fighter. That's, what I'm saying, that's Coltrane. That's the dude that, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, he's the fighter. So like, I love it, man. I love it. You know what I mean? And it, like I said, this has its moments, but in reality, man, I feel like everything I went through, it brought me to this point in who I am. You know what I'm saying, as a man.
Is there any relation to the singer Coltrane? Because he's from North
Yeah,
Carolina.
he's not. Yeah, you mean the jazz? You mean the saxophone player, the jazz player, right?
Yeah, I think John Coltrane or whatever his name is. I think.
Yeah, he's my ancestor. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's from North Carolina. So
yeah, Greensboro.
why did you decide to move into bare knuckle from MMA?
Honestly, you know, honestly, man, MMA. Honestly, when I was still chasing the MMA thing around 35, and I think I fought. I was fighting for Brunson he got his own league. I think it's called I forgot the name of what it's called, man. I got it somewhere. But I fought a couple of times on his show, and in my
Mhm.
mind I was like, I think I was like 2-1, maybe 2-2 at the time. And I was thinking, like, hey, if I could, rack up a couple wins, maybe it'll be an opportunity for me, to maybe try to get on the Contender Series or try to do something. And, just the way life was going, man, it, like, anytime something would happen, you know what I mean, and I wouldn't be fighting, I was getting older. So I was thinking to
Yeah.
myself, once I got to like 36, I was thinking to myself, like, even if I put on, like, I'm thinking, like, legitimately, like, okay, I'm 36. If I put on a 4-fight win streak, 5-fight win streak, that's gonna take at least a year and a half, maybe a year. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Maybe a little more than that. Who knows? And if I did that, now I'm looking at 37. Well, I've seen guys win on the Contender Series that was that age, and Dana White didn't want to bring him on because he felt like,
Mhm.
well, I'm gonna give a 6 figures to a guy who's probably only got a few more fights left in him, or what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Obviously, you can't put a time on anybody, but that's
Yeah.
the. I'm just thinking logically. That's the way I'm thinking. So for a second, you know, my last MMA fight, I fought a young guy. It was I ended up getting my nose broke, man, and I think I got paid
Oh
like
man.
$5, man. And like I think it was like 500 to win. I mean, 500 to show, 500 to win.
Damn.
I ended up losing the fight. Shit, I got my nose broke, and you know what I'm saying, and I only made $500. And I was thinking to myself, like,
Yeah.
fuck, like, do I want to keep doing this? Like, and I got the call. Nate Shook called me and was like, bro, I got an opportunity for you. He was like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a hometown guy. He was like, but if you want to, if you do it, and you know what I'm saying, we bring you out, regardless of how it'll go, we'll bring you back. And I was like, and I've been seeing bare knuckle, like, I've been seeing it grow, and like, this was like right before the whole Mike Perry thing took off when I made my debut.
Okay.
I think I made my debut in 2022. So I had been
Uh-huh.
seeing it or whatever, and I was like, man, I've been thought about it, and like, I had got an offer before, and like, I couldn't really get no, like, when it first came out, I got an offer to do it, and I
Mhm.
couldn't get nobody to do it with me, man. Everybody was like, man, you crazy as hell. Like, man, why would you want to do that? Like, man, no, with this, like, I couldn't get nobody on board with me. And then when
Yeah.
I got the call in 2022. I talked to my coach and I told him, I was like, look, man, look, it's growing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's an opportunity for me. I feel like, he was like, man, if you really want to do it, man, I'll go with you. And, we
Yeah.
took off 2022. I ended up having like a 3-fight win streak. And, and they started talking about me fighting the champ. So I called him out and it ended up going my way. And I fight for the title. So, like, yeah, man, I got pulled in and I fell in love with it, man. And I figured, yeah, this is where I'm gonna be at it when I'm done. You know what I'm saying? When I hang it up, you know what I mean? I'm BKSC until I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you actually Redneck is actually one of my favorite, bare knuckle fighters since I became a fan of it. Just something
Dude's
about
good.
his fighting style.
He's good, man. I got we had our moment where we was going back and forth, and we've
Yeah.
talked since. We got some respect, man. The dude's a killer, man. I mean, I wasn't upset that I lost to him because he went on to be the number one pound for pound. Fighting for Lorenzo Hunt. 2 weight classes up
Yeah.
for a huge
Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah, I mean I respect bro for sure, but he knows that this last run I'm coming for him. So he already knows we said we're gonna lay it to the side until I get back to him. Once I get back to him, then we'll work our differences out then.
Do you think this is a sport that extends, fighter shelf lives? Because I feel like it does. You got some old champs in this sport.
I think that I really do, man. I think because preparing for this is not like an MMA fight. It doesn't really kill you. Like
Yeah.
preparing for an MMA fight kills your body, man. Like the grappling, the kickboxing, the boxing, the everything, man. The wrestling, like it kills your body, man. Literally, like getting ready for a fight is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And by the time you get to the fight, you got 2 or 3 injuries. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third.
Yeah.
This I think with the less grappling that it is, with the I mean, the amount of grappling that it is, I definitely think it gives guys, and because you could get hit 1 or 2 times and the fight could be over. You can get, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, fight be over. And so like, yeah, I don't think guys is taking as much damage. I think they're taking a little more damage as far as like, with it looks bad, it looks worse. You know what I mean? But when it comes to their brain and comes to all the crazy injuries and stuff that you would get from MMA, I definitely think it gives shelf life to guys for sure.
When you like you were saying, early in the days, people were saying you're crazy for doing this. There's still some people that think bare knuckles crazy. What do you think the misconception that fans have about this sport? Because I mean, to me, it's becoming my favorite sport right now.
I'm gonna be honest, man. It's becoming my favorite sport too, man. And like literally, like I can't even tell you some of the guys' names from the UFC, and like there's only a few guys that I do know. I don't watch every show. I didn't even watch the last Izzy show, but I think it's just because like I said, it looks more bloody. You know what I mean? I think people get a misconception because it looks more nastier. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know they don't really understand that MMA, the gloves is not to protect the gloves is not to protect you from getting punched. Like actually getting punched with an MMA glove hurts worse because you got your hand taped and then you got that glove on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it even
Okay.
solid, a more solid
Yeah.
force. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
without the gloves, you know, like obviously, like I said, the UFC. I think the UFC added. If you go back to the beginning days of UFC, they didn't have gloves. I think the UFC added gloves to make it more of a sport, so people would accept it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that once people realize that like I said, you're not really taking as much damage, and I mean it just looks a little bad. Like even like I said, even in my last fight, man, my face was fucked up. My eye was excuse my language. My eye was messed up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
And,
you good.
and shit, it was healed up in like 2 weeks, man. You know what I mean? Like it looked bad, but you know what I mean. It really, you know what I mean. It wasn't that bad though. You know what I'm saying?
Have we gotten that soft as fans? Like, because y'all are the modern day gladiators. Back in the days, though, they were chopping off heads, and people were like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah, man. I think as a society all together, man, don't get me chopped up with no fans, man, because you know how fans will come for you, boy. They'll come. You say the wrong shit, boy, they'll come for you. But yeah, I think as a society as a whole, we kind of, I mean, if you look at the guys that was born in my generation and how they are, and the toughness, and like I'm looking at
Yeah.
my son. Obviously my son, he'd be mad if I hit it, but I tell him to a face like, boy, y'all boys soft compared to us. Well, we was, what I mean, we just grew up different, man. We was in the yard, we was, wrestling, we were in the woods, we doing like these boys now, they on the video game, they, what I'm saying, like it's just different, man. You know what I mean? And I think as as a whole in society, it's gotten a little soft. But I think also the more they watch and the more knowledge they learn about it, it'll get bigger. You know what I mean? And like you said, bare knuckle to me is taking over because you don't even have to know the guys. Like UFC, it's like you almost gotta like, okay, yeah, bro fighting, so I gotta tune in. But
Yeah.
these guys, you don't even have to know these guys. It could be two Joe Blows. They look like they ain't even in shape, and it still could be an exciting fight. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know half the guys on the last fight card, Mohegan Sun. And that was really good. That was a really good fight card. So many
Yeah,
comeback wins.
that's what I'm saying, man. It can be an exciting night, man, with you don't even know the guys just because of the type of fight it is. You know what I mean? The weight. Hey, I'm telling you, man, Philman or whoever these guys that created this shit, them boys, they might be on to something, man.
So I know you got another interview coming up when Mission Accomplished Mike and Miss. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. I got one more question before we go. What's the biggest sacrifice you made to chase this career?
I think the biggest sacrifice that I made, man, is with my career, with my everyday career, my job career. And I tell all the young guys to do it different from me. You know, I didn't when I was chasing this fighting shit, I didn't care about what job I had. I just wanted a job. It didn't matter to me what job I had. I really was just hoping that
Mhm.
I could make it on this shit. And obviously everybody don't make it, you know what I mean? And I think that, all the years of me changing jobs, or I'm here at this job, now I'm here at this job, starting over from the bottom. Like I think that was the biggest sacrifice I made. And I always tell the young guys that I train, I tell them, hey, go get a career, go get a trade, go get something. That way, even if it don't work out, you got something that you can fall back on. And also, you got something that that you can make money while you're doing it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think that would be my biggest sacrifice. I tried to when I had to be dad, I made sure I was dad. That's another thing too. Like I would put fighting last a lot of times. And I think that's
Mhm.
why my MMA career didn't go the way I wanted it to. Too is because I would put it. I was a hobby. It was it had to be a hobby. Even though I didn't want it to be. I had to be dad. I had to work. I had to make sure. I had to be. I had to be the man. I had to be at home first and put fighting second. So yeah, I would think. What I mean, I would definitely say just my career in general, man, was the biggest thing I sacrificed. But to be where I'm at now and to be headlining this event and, the headline for a world title and all the things that I've done, it's definitely been a dream come true for sure. But
Yeah, and y'all have crazy grinds as fighters because y'all got to make a living. Until even if you do make it and get to that point where you make a lot of money, you gotta be making a living until you get to that point. And then, like you said, if you don't make it to that point you want to get to, you got to keep making that living going forward. And it's a tough grind. And then you got to keep your body in shape. You got to work on your skill set. And if you got a family, you still got to spend time with them as well, man. It's a lot, man.
it is a lot, man. And that's why, when I see guys doing it, man, I got so much respect. You know what I mean? And I think, the problem with America is I think they see a guy lose and they automatically jump ship. Oh, he sucks. He lost, but they don't
Yeah.
fucking They don't know what we go through. They don't know the grind that you have. They don't know. They don't see the lead up to the fight. They just see that night, and that night can go any way. You know what I mean? And really, it's leading up to that night. You know what I mean? Is you preparing for that one night. But if things ain't, you know what I mean, it could go any kind of way. So like then I think people be like, oh, he sucked. That just drives me crazy in America when they diss these fighters, man, when they would never step in their self ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me.
And you could lose and still win in BKFC because you could get fight of the night and they double your purse, and
Yeah,
they might give you a fight of the night bonus.
right. So I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
but
so
you know how it be, man. It's crazy that
yeah,
you from Fayetteville, man. Oh, that's what's up, though, man. Where you at now, though?
yeah. I'm in Fayetteville.
Oh, okay. I appreciate you reaching out to
Yep.
me, man. You're the first person to reach out to me, man.
Well, I should have did it sooner, man. And I got to show more love to my North Carolinian fighters, man. I interviewed James Brown a couple times. I know you close with him.
Yeah, that's my boy. He going with me to Hawaii. He's gonna be in my corner.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be going
North
down to.
Carolina extravaganza.
Yeah. Going to Hawaii, man, to take over, man. That's for damn sure.
Well, I normally don't be trying to side with the fighters, that because I might have to interview your opponent later, but man, you better win this, man, for North Carolina, man.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you like this, brother. I felt like it was written the day I signed the contract, bro. This dude getting touched up,
Yeah,
man. Words.
yeah. It's gonna be a late fight card, but I'm gonna definitely make sure I stay tuned in, man. I know I'm gonna have to probably take a nap, like a power nap, because it comes on at 11 p.m. Eastern time.
It's gonna be a late night, bro. I'm going to go train. I'm going to go train tonight. Probably about 12 tonight. I'm gonna go train because I'm only gonna be over there for a couple days. So if it ends up being where it's like, hey, normally I'm in bed at this time, I ain't gonna be shocked by it, man. I'm gonna be prepared for everything.
Yeah, that's what's up. Before we let you go, man, any shout outs you want to do? Because I know you got another interview coming up at 9 p.m., if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got an interview with the boys, man. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to these guys. I feel like, I don't know, last time I talked to them, I felt like things kind of went left. So it's exciting to talk to them and bury all this stuff and be able to do it on live. But man, I just want to shout out my family, man.
Yeah.
I want to shout out all my sponsors. I want to shout out, Cliff Parrish, Heating in there, man. He really been my guy, holding me down from day one. I got Jarman. Dang, I can't even think of everybody, man. But look, shout out my sponsor. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. Without y'all, man, it would have made this road a lot. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go out here and show everybody what we made of from North Carolina for sure, brother.
Well, shouts out to you for taking the time out, man, and like to have you back on the show later if you got
Yeah, man.
time.
Let's do it. Look, when I whoop this dude, man, bring me back on, man, for sure.
All right, will do, man. Enjoy the rest of your night too, man.
All right, boss, man. You have a good one, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, Doug.
All right.
Appreciate it. Well, there you have it. Doug Cold Red Coltrane is going to Hawaii, represent North Carolina. BKFC Fight Night Honolulu versus Maki Patolo, April 11th, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those in Hawaii, that's at the Blaisdell Arena. And he about to go do an interview right after this with Mike and Mish. Mission accomplished. Shouts out to them guys. Number one bare knuckle podcast on the planet. But I feel like I'm the fastest rising, the fastest up and coming, man. Feel like I put in a lot of work, sometimes 3 or 4 interviews a week, always pumping out clips, make sure I promote the fighters because it's not about me, it's about the fighters. And I'm not, as much as I like bare knuckle and BKFC, I'm pro fighter before I'm pro fight promotion more than anything. Appreciate everybody tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Um, this guy said, "Whom I support." I don't know what we're talking about. I appreciate everybody tuning in on Instagram. Looks like my man Keith, the officer Richardson, Dr. Sarah Shell, which I gotta reply to her again. Trying to interview her, get her on here. Zach Davenport, Machiavelli, Fight Team, Restless Multimedia, Trinidad Snake. Appreciate you, Carlos. And appreciate everybody else that tune in on Instagram as well. And we got to set up some more interviews. I was supposed to interview Taylor Dagner before her fight, so hopefully we get her on afterwards. Hopefully we get Dr. Sarah Shell on, and I got to go through this fight cards that we got coming up and see, um, who's got some up and coming fights that we could interview. You still got, of course, BKFC Fight Night Honolulu is April 11th. That's the next card. April 17th, they're in Denver. April 18th, the next day they're in Australia, boy. They're putting in a lot of work. You got Clearwater on the 24th. That's gonna be a really packed month. That's my birthday month. Right here. My birthday is in 7 days. And you got Blood for Blood, May 6th. I heard Salt Lake City is being pushed back. They still don't even have a main event or any fight set up for BKC Salt Lake City, and that's literally supposed to be, 5 or 6 weeks out. BKFC Palm Desert, Herring versus Manis, and you still got BKFC 90 Birmingham, Tyranny versus Franco. I think this is like their second or third time fighting. All right, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We about to wrap it up. Another episode of Paul Pica Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast. Peace. And I am out.